Hey folks, welcome on board. We sent out a couple of emails saying that we're going to go live 5 minutes ago, so sorry about being a little bit late. Just did an audio check then, so let me know if you can hear everything okay. I'll see if I can actually get comments up so I can see who's commenting, etc. There we go. Now, today's subject is not a bash on dog rescue groups. I have a lot of respect for the people who volunteer their time, and not only to organise and manage rescue groups, but also to, if you're a rescue group foster carer as well. I am personally a foster failure from many years ago and had a wonderful dog named Missy for many years, and have actually dealt with a lot of rescue groups in the past as well. So hats off to anyone who is doing rescue. But I have had in the past a couple of people say that they weren't allowed to adopt a dog if they had a radio dog fence. And also people who have experienced the same, and I'm just wondering whether maybe some rescue groups could have another look at their policy and even give us a call and have a chat about radio dog fences that help dogs stop escaping. And we'll go through a few things there. Now, when we did the post on Facebook, it was as a result of meeting this young man, Lachlan, and his dog Red. Red is a rescue dog. Lachlan contacted us because Red was getting over rather tall fences and was at risk of injuring himself. I spoke to Lachlan today, and now Red has the full roam of his backyard and is quite free to roam around and is not jumping the fences. And doing the training, Red responded very, very well. Now, not only being a rescue dog, Red was actually returned to the rescue group because he was a continuous escape artist, and that's probably why some dogs end up in rescue anyway. And some of the rescue groups are saying, well, you can't have a radio dog fence, even though it is going to make a standard rural farm fence quite impenetrable to a dog. And the other side effect that this has, we'll talk about side effects, but just have a look at this video while I'm chatting. Some dogs are so determined that they're going to injure themselves trying to escape, and then if you watch this young dog here, they can end up in far worse condition than whatever will ever come out of a radio dog fence collar, provided you get a good quality one anyway. Now, the other thing it does as well, as far as side effects goes, it actually teaches the dog what their defined area is. So let's have a look at the post itself and some of the comments. If you put a dog on a property and you teach them that there's a boundary around the perimeter, you're actually teaching them what their defined area and their new home, their territory is, and they don't so much have to worry about what's going on the other side of the fence. So we've seen some very territorial staffies that will run across a busy road to go and defend that tree that they've marked for many, many years. And then once a radio dog fence is installed, they'll run down the driveway and they'll stop at the open gate and not go through. We have got thousands of stories of success in that way as well. And a lot of people, we did actually get a couple of emails from some of our previous customers who have experienced not being allowed to adopt a dog when they're going to give them a very good home, purely from the fact that they have rural fencing, but they also have the radio dog fence, which was something in the equation. And one of our Marvella didn't mind us reading out her comments. I won't go into all of it, but she's had our dog line for 13 years for giant and both large and giant dogs. Never, ever, ever had a dog cross the line. Let me put up a different picture. And that's what we're talking about, a barrier around the property, and we have several different designs that you can do as well. She's never had a dog go through. She's actually been refused on 2 occasions to adopt a couple of dogs onto her property because of the radio dog fence, so she ended up going to Gumtree and grabbing a couple of dogs that have been with her. They started off as puppies. Those dogs have actually produced more puppies that she's successfully rehomed, and none of them have actually escaped and got into trouble. One of the better scenarios if your dog gets out is that the dog ends up down the pound, because then at least you're not down the vet or having to pay for the injuries of the dog, etc. Now, if you want more information about how they work, there is a decent video there that shows you, and then you can click on and find out a bit more about the information. Now, someone who didn't want to be named as well because of the position they hold he's actually stated that he's trained his dogs to the warning beeper, so they actually never go into the correction zone to get a correction. If they do, he's had it just set onto mild levels and been very, very successful with not only the radio dog fence, but also the remote training collar, which was the subject of our live last time. And now a little bit about how they work. If you have a transmitter in the shed or the garage, you run 2 wires touching together to the boundary. That produces a radio signal. Let's have a look at some of those layouts again. That's our owners club. And what happens when the radio signal returns to the transmitter, then the transmitter blocks the radio signal, and let me get this out of the way. Then the radio signal will pop out of the wire 1.5 to 2 meters, and you can then... Oh, I've lost it. Goodness me. You'll then have a radio signal around the perimeter of the property, and if you look at that, one of those garden bed designs, it shows you that you can also do internal areas as well. So we've actually got people with, say, dogs to stop them escaping, and other animals that need to be kept out of veggie patches. Now, when the dog approaches the radio signal, they hit the warning zone, they get a little beeper. With our system, if they sit there for 15 seconds, they get a little ping from the collar. Biggest reasons dogs get out of these systems is the battery life, so our battery will last a lot longer. And then you train the dogs at the very low level so they make their own decision not to stay near the fence. Now, 80% of the job during the training is to teach them where they can go, and they work out where they can't go. We do also have training videos available in there as well. And once you actually get to the point where the dog refuses to go near the radio barrier, then you let the dog go. You can bump it up to high level. So if the dog makes their own decision, I am going to disobey what I've just been trained to do and go near the boundary flags that have been put in the system, then what's going to happen is the dog will get a correction, probably at a higher level, but that will seal the deal on not letting them get out. So we're able to do small garden beds, allow dogs access to the back of the property, and the front through the house. You might have questions about how the dog gets taken for a walk. So you can take a dog from a rescue group that's known for jumping very, very tall fences. We do a lot with Husky Rescue in WA. And then reliably teach it not to go across the boundary. And you might bring up the term separation anxiety. Then you can start to work on the separation anxiety and introduce other things to help it not want to escape. So if you'd like any more information on this, or you've got any comments, or you know anyone who is in a rescue group that don't like radio dog fences, maybe we could have a chat and go through a couple of reasons why. If you do know rescue groups that are pro radio dog fences and they'd like to be interviewed on live, then let's have a chat to them as well. So what I'll do is I'll leave it there. If you've got any comments, leave them in the comments. If you want any more information, jump on the phone and give us a call, or fill out the form on one of our radio dog fence pages. Thanks very much for tuning in, and we will speak again soon. Bye for now.